what's happened with the FBI, but we're going to rebuild the FBI. It'll be bigger and better than ever. But it is very sad when you look at those documents, and how they've done that is really, really disgraceful. And you have a lot of very angry people that are seeing it. It's a very sad thing to watch, I will tell you that. And I'm going today on behalf of the FBI, their new building, and you know, but when everybody, not me, when everybody, the level of anger at what they've been witnessing with respect to the FBI is certainly very sad.
All right, that was the president earlier today before he departed for the FBI's National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, where he spoke at a graduation ceremony for law enforcement officials for the United States of America and around the world. The president is rightfully upset with some of the blatant bias being shown by top-ranking officials, not rank and file, at the FBI and the DOJ. Just to be clear, we've said this many times, we do have great respect for those men and women of law enforcement in our country who save us every day and put their lives on the line. And we know the president feels the same way. Here's what he said earlier today.
It's an honor to stand here today with the incredible men and women of law enforcement. I am here not only to congratulate you, but to honor you for your courage and for your devotion. And I want you to know that with me as your president, America's police will have a true friend and loyal champion in the White House, more loyal than anyone else can be.
Just now with reaction, Fox News national security strategist, former deputy assistant to the president, Sebastian Gorka, and investigative reporter Sarah Carter. You know, it's so sad because if you have one bad cop, you know, people want to use that. We forget about the 99.9%. Same with the FBI. Same with intelligence officials. Those that work hard to protect us, put their lives on the line every day, Sarah. But when you have the head of the FBI, James Comey, working with Peter Strzok, and they're writing an exoneration of Hillary Clinton before they do their investigation, that's not equal justice under the law. Peter Strzok, who thinks for some reason God appointed him to save the country, and that they're building insurance policies in case Trump wins. This is corruption, I think, at the highest level we've ever seen. Your reaction?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've talking to field agents today, a number of field agents and retired FBI agents, and they have the same sentiment as President Trump. Remember, people want to criticize President Trump, but what we've seen on the 7th floor is something that we've never seen before, and people have said this over and over again. Never seen this type of behavior within the FBI, which is so blatant. And you know, Sean, what was even more interesting to me was they were telling me they were at an event, all of these field agents and some military officials were there, and they said everybody was worried about Russia collusion with Trump. Instead, what we're seeing is FBI 7th floor collusion with Clintons, and that's how they're feeling.
All right, Sebastian Gorka, I know how you feel about law enforcement. We all feel the same way. But this is real collusion. This is real corruption. There's no other way to describe what Comey and Peter Strzok did. The fix was in. The fix was in months before he did his investigation. To me, if I'm James Comey tonight, I'm Peter Strzok tonight, I'm thinking I better hire the best lawyers D.C. has.
Sean, Sarah's absolutely right. Let me tell you my personal experience. I've worked closely with thousands of agents and analysts. I was in the White House earlier this week for the Christmas celebrations. And so was another retired agent from the FBI who had at least 20, 25 years in. He recognized me, came up to me, and he said, the Bureau's reputation is shot. And it's not because of the people who are protecting us on the streets in the terrorism task forces. It's because of a handful of bad apples, of bent cops, corrupt cops. And Sean, the saddest thing is, we're getting the documents now, and I'm seeing emails of collusion inside the FBI to protect Hillary Clinton because they think she's the next president. And in the CC line, I'm seeing names of agents I highly respected and had worked with who, once they got to the 7th floor, Sean, that's it. Under the Obama administration, they became political hacks. And it's going to take years to rebuild the FBI. But the president said it today. He's going to rebuild it, and he can rebuild it.
It needs to be rebuilt. And the same, by the way, top people, former Obama people within the intelligence community, before this is all said and done, I believe this house of cards falls. You know, your story yesterday about reverse targeting, the misuse of the powerful tools of intelligence that we give the intelligence community that you reported, Sarah, that doesn't even get into the dossier issue, bought and paid for by Hillary with salacious Russian propaganda lies to influence an electorate. That doesn't get into the Uranium One deal. I'm not sure how we untangle all of this and the best way to do that. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I think the best way to do that is one step at a time, one story at a time, Sean, one investigation at a time. And that's what we've done over the past year. And that's why we see this yarn unraveling, peeling back the onion, as you always say, one layer at a time. And now you brought up the dossier, such a great point. And we see now that Bruce Orr's wife was hired by Fusion GPS to help with this dossier. I mean, this is incredible stuff. We would have never discovered this had we not done it one story at a time. And I think we need to continue that, be very factual, find those facts, present them to the American public so that they know what's going on and so that we can clean up our system, because this is still the greatest country on earth.
Well,
and we still have the greatest system on earth.
But if intelligence is misused, if
That's
people
right.
are paying people for stories, if dossiers from Russia are being used, if, you know, the misuse of intelligence, if literally we are ignoring bribery, kickbacks, extortion, and money laundering, and we give 20% of our uranium away and money's thrown back, none of this seems to come to full resolution, Dr. Gorka.
It will. Oh, it will.
I agree with you.
The stories are just coming out. Thanks to Sarah, thanks to John, thanks to you, Sean. But
and
Sarah stole. No, they're doing the heavy lifting, and you are. But Sarah's absolutely right. She stole my thunder. We are the greatest nation on God's earth. We are also the most powerful nation on God's earth, which means when you start to weaponize law enforcement, when you start to politically weaponize the intelligence community, like John Brennan, like the last administration, Eric Holder did, it is more dangerous than anything you can imagine. And that's why we have to step in now. People have to be investigated, prosecuted.
This separates us from a police state. That's
absolutely.
If we don't get these issues resolved, then there's the deep state illegally surveilling Americans. We shred the Fourth Amendment protections of our Constitution. We're going to lose the country. This is not a game what we're talking about here. These are severe violations of law, and it all needs to come to a head.